Kristine Sa xin trân trọng kính chào quý vị khán thính giả của đài truyền hình SBTN và xin chào đón quý vị vào chương trình Heart to Heart trong tuần này. Trong chương trình hôm nay, Kristine Sa xin hân hạnh giới thiệu 4 khuôn mặt nghệ sĩ trẻ từ trong cộng đồng Việt Nam của chúng ta ở tại Hoa Kỳ. Và đặc biệt nữa là tất cả những nhạc phẩm trong chương trình hôm nay đã được sáng tác bởi các nhạc sĩ này. Đây là ca nhạc sĩ Chosen, ca nhạc sĩ Giana, nhạc sĩ Tony T và từ nhóm vũ công vô địch của chương trình America's Best Dance Crew trên đài MTV, Càng của nhóm Poreotics. Kristine biết là Chosen đã sinh hoạt ở trong cộng đồng mình trước đây. Nhưng mà ngoài ra những cái sinh hoạt trên sân khấu của Trung tâm Asia hay là guest star trong những cái bài hát của những người ca sĩ Việt Nam á, thì Chosen có một cái cuộc sống coi như mình nói là nó khác hẳn. Chosen viết nhạc và tự mình thực hiện release ra những cái music video riêng của mình.
Have you ever woke up with nothing to eat?
Cái motivation for me is just me as an artist. I feel like with hip hop music, I can talk about anything regarding life, love, relationships, society, political issues, world issues, stuff like that. Like drunk driving and many different issues, and I feel like hip-hop music, nhạc rapper, can actually transcend and convey a message where everyone can really relate to and tell a story about it. Like when I was younger, my mom and dad actually they separated, and during that time, during my formative years, Chosen khoảng 8 tuổi, I didn't have like a father role model, and a lot of the people I actually looked up to were rappers who didn't actually have a father present during their formative years. So that's why so I can understand and feel how they say, and I can totally relate to them. I think the only way, I feel like when I was very active in the Vietnamese music community, a lot of people realized, I think they feel what I was trying to do, my talent, but I guess I was limited because em Chosen nó không có đi học biết nói tiếng Việt đâu, không có biết sáng tác đâu. Like, but now I actually have the ability and capability to rap in Vietnamese. Like my style now is like 50-50. If I was to write a song towards the Vietnamese American audience, I would actually write a verse where it's like 50% English and Vietnamese and going back and forth.
This life is hard, but don't give up. The tunnel to the light is 3 steps above. Gotta work hard and be persistent. No matter what you do, realize the time is ticking.
Circles, too many circles. Don't know how it started. So many faces, too many places. Do you know where your heart is? Don't know the truth, no, I don't know what's true. From the lies that you've told me, I won't let you break me. But how can I break free when you keep pulling me into your
Giana xin kính chào quý khán giả của đài SBTN và chương trình Heart to Heart with Kristine Sa.
So Giana, you're here because I know that you're releasing your first album.
My first solo album.
Your first solo album.
Yes, it's very exciting.
And really, I just wanted to get into the heart of a Vietnamese girl, but you've grown up with quite a bit of American background, I guess, right? So your album is all in English. And you've written all the music, you've worked on the album yourself.
Yes.
This is new for you, I'm guessing.
It is very new to me. I mean, music itself is not new. I mean, I grew up listening to it, loving it. Actually, it was listening to a lot of the pop artists that helped me to learn English as a kid. You know, singing along to Debbie Gibson and Tiffany. And so, yeah, music has always been a huge part of me personally, but it's only recently that I wanted to do something a little bit more and take it a little bit more seriously and professionally.
Have you had to make any sacrifices to make this album?
Oh, sure. I think you can look at it in two ways. I look at it in two ways. Personally, sacrifices outside of the life that I've built thus far of all these years. I've worked really hard to build a stable and comfortable life with my family, with my friends. You know, have a good job, got a college degree, all those things.
The things your parents want for you, right?
Exactly right. So, you know, I followed their advice and really did good for myself. And so now the sacrifice is shifting around all the free time and everything that I'm used to doing in that life to make room for music, to make room to write more, to listen more, to record, to practice, to just explore music and learn about the business in general. And so, you know, the sacrifice in giving up free time that I would rather spend with family or friends is now, you know, shifting a little bit to music. But, you know, I also look at it as all these years that I haven't been doing music is a sacrifice in itself, that I've been sacrificing my artistry and the music in me by not doing it all these years. So now I'm just trying to find the balance to make it all work.
I wonder if you feel it too. My longing eyes lingering on you.
You know, I feel like it's a true representation of who I am. I mean, yes, I am a Vietnamese girl, but I grew up outside of the motherland. I grew up in America, so my culture is a combination of Vietnamese and American influences. I mean, you just can't help that. I've been here since I was 5 years old, and so I feel that you know, writing and recording and exploring something that's truly me had to be in this independent route. You know, just finding the right fit in this whole music industry. It's been hard. I mean, I did participate in the first Paris by Night talent show. Really? I did, and I've auditioned for American Idol, I mean, years ago. But you know, with big corporations, they're very good at what they do, and they have a lot of power in doing it. But it's, as an artist, it's about in that route, you have to impress the decision makers, and you have to be a right fit for them, for their product. Yeah, and so having the opportunity to find ways to release music the way you want to do it and express yourself without having to worry about whether it'll be approved by the big boss is another route that I've really kind of embraced. There's a huge community of it, and independent artists, yeah, and it's growing. It's growing, exactly. The music industry has changed so much. You know.
I guess what I really wanted to get into, like the heart of our interview really was, I wanted to know how your family feels about what you're working on in English, right?
You know, I think it took them a while to kind of they're not surprised. That's one thing. They're not surprised. I mean, I've always loved it. You know, we always grew up with a karaoke machine at home, and I took piano lessons growing up, and so music they already knew that I loved. But for me to steer away from the regular 9 to 5 and add this other component of me maybe has been different for them. You know, I'm married. I've reached a certain age where they want me to start having babies, and you know, so the time that I could otherwise be placing towards the family life, I'm sacrificing in order to make more room for the music for the time being. Yeah, to be an artist, and then we'll see how it goes. But I do hope that they're proud. I hope that they're happy. You know, back to the proud thing is that I hope they can find pride in me, that I'm a Vietnamese girl trying to bring more of the Vietnamese face and the Vietnamese sound to the mainstream and American industry. And you know, I also hope that they'll be happy for me. You know, happy that I'm following my dream and doing what I love.
So in that same family of questions, then, how do you hope that the larger family of, you know, our Vietnamese American community here, how do you hope that they'll react to your album?
Well, I hope they like it. I really hope they do, because, you know, as an artist, you create music for, you know, for yourself, for fun. You don't have to get outside of your comfort zone. You can record things in the safety of your bedroom. You can just sing along to things in your car and do things with friends for fun. But me creating this album, this disc, is really for the listening public. So I really hope that they like it. I'm sure it's outside of the normal things that they might listen to, but I hope there's room on their music shelf for a little bit of Giana.
I hope so too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
It took a moment, but now I realize this could be love. Yeah, this is love.
Quý khán thính giả đang theo dõi chương trình Heart to Heart với Kristine Sa. Thưa quý vị, trong năm 2010, đài truyền hình MTV và chương trình thật là nổi tiếng mang tên America's Best Dance Crew đã tuyên bố một nhóm vũ công vô địch mới với một số thành viên người Việt. Đó là nhóm Poreotics. Ngay bây giờ cho Kristine xin giới thiệu buổi phỏng vấn của mình với Giana Nguyen của nhóm Poreotics và người nhạc sĩ mà anh ấy đang cộng tác với hiện nay. Đó là nhạc sĩ Tony T Nguyen.
Kính chào quý vị của đài SBTN.
Kính chào quý vị của đài SBTN. I walked away from my corporate job. I was moving up in the company. I found myself coming home at night and not enjoying my day. Always tired, working 6-7 days a week. And part-time, I was teaching a high school drum line, teaching music, and those hours I spent with the kids, I found it more rewarding, and it made me feel so much better inside. And so I took a leap of faith and I left that job and I went to teach at the high school. It's been amazing.
We all know you from Poreotics. We know, love, and support you. And I want to ask you about that.
Well, first off, I just want to thank everyone for voting, because without the community, without the people voting, you know, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I just want to thank you guys and for whoever voted for us. And yeah, it was very surprising to see that, you know, all these Vietnamese people that usually, you know, I wouldn't expect it to happen for the support, but when it did happen, it was amazing, because usually how I would see my parents, like, they would tell me, oh, you should be doing something that would make you successful, you know, but then when I was actually on the show, you know, it kind of opened their eyes to see as to where dancing would bring me. And when they saw that, they immediately started supporting me and, you know, telling all their friends to vote and everything.
That's what happened. I got a call from my dad, you know. He said, do you know about this group? Có cái nhóm vũ công gì Pori gì đó. I was like, Dad, really? Yeah, the Poreotics, you know.
Well, after being on MTV, everything was pretty different. Like, as myself, as for my personality, it hasn't changed. I've remained the same, because like, I didn't want to change just because I was on TV, you know. It doesn't matter. I mean, the only thing that's really changed is I treat my dancing as more of like a job now, because I'm actually getting paid to dance, and you know what, I can be successful in that way. So now, you know, my parents wouldn't have to worry about me as much. So that's also changed too. They respect me a lot more as a person. They treat me as an adult as to how they used to treat me for like going out late or whatever. And you know, I showed them that, you know, staying out late to practice makes a big difference.
That's what you were doing? So you stayed out late to practice and become a better dancer? Basically,
because that's the only time I would have to dance, because I would be working my regular job, which, you know, I had a 9-to-5 job and all the typical stuff, school and everything, but then it took up most of my day, so I would have to dance at night. And my parents would be like, why are you staying out so late all the time? And now that I'm on the show, after all of that, now they see why I do what I do.
My dad raised me since I was a kid. My mom had left me when I was 6 months old, and you know, to this day, he's been there no matter what. You know, as a kid, you mess up. Even now, you know, you mess up, and I tend to mess up a lot and hurt my dad. And it's not like I go out of my way to go, I'm going to hurt my dad. You know, it's like the hardest thing to swallow. You know, when you see your dad, you know, disappointed. He himself is a poet, and so I know he understands how I feel about music and my passion for it. So he supports me. But however, the reality sets in. He goes, he wants me to be secure and make sure I'm okay with life. And so, you know, at first he's all, Tony, you gotta make sure you finish school, make sure that you become a doctor or a lawyer.
He's being a dad.
Yeah, he's being a dad, you know. I was like, but Dad, you know, I go, just one more semester, okay, of music. He goes, all right, one more semester. Then years pass. Okay, so you're really gonna do this? I'm like, yes. But it was only recently, like about 2 years ago, where I had a CD release party on my first album, where he attended, and it was the first time where he saw all my friends show up to the concert, watch me perform live, and in the middle of the concert, I asked him to come up, and before he came up to the stage, we met halfway, and we hugged, and he cried, and I can't explain that feeling. It was just like, it's like finally he approved of what I've done, and he accepts, and he's proud. He told me in that hug, he goes, he was proud of me in that, and it was just the words that barely came out of his, because we were shaken up. You know, my dad and I are not very physical, like we barely hug, we just talk, that type of thing. But when we hug, it's kind of very personal, you know. So for that, I'd say a minute, it felt like a lifetime, you know. Like it seemed like everything's just stopped, and it was just my dad and I. And yeah, it was just amazing to get his approval, you know, in music. And so now he understands why I spend so much time with music, because he's watching the progress. I recently got him on Facebook, and it's really funny, and because my dad and I really don't talk on the phone a lot, but I want him to know what's going on, you know, and I'm constantly on Facebook. So every day he sees my posts, my pictures of food or my music stuff, and we talk, you know. He goes, I'm really proud of you. He commented on my wall for the first time. He goes, he's all.
He used Facebook?
Yeah, he wrote on my wall. He's all, something about like, I'm so proud of you, son. I see the success you're having, you know, with music, and I'm very proud of you. And I'm very lucky to have my dad witness it, and you know, I want him to see that I'm going to be okay.
Well, the moment that I realized that they supported me was when they came to the first episode, you know, of the taping. Yeah, I saw them there. I was like, yes, you know, like
my parents are here.
Yeah, exactly. Because before we would always go perform, and I don't think that they've ever been to any of my shows, and so they never really got to see me dance with the group. Like they've seen me dance by myself at home and all that, but they never really seen what we actually do. So the moment that they sat down and they watched us dance for the first time on the show, I was just looking at their faces, and they were just smiling. They had this big smile on them, and I was like, yes, you know, I finally have, like, my parents come to a show for once, you know. And then after that, they just came to every show and they started supporting me. So the show has really changed my relationship with my family, because now I understand that you know, they're proud of me now, because before I wouldn't really see that, but now that they always support me and everything, I see that now.
With Can, what happened was, through teaching high school, I met Can. He was one of my students. He joined drumline and played drums, and it was fun. I had a drum and bugle corps, which he played trumpet for. He came in March. It's like a marching band, and he came out the first year and participated. And through that, on one of the tours, we were up north, and everyone's like relaxing, hanging out, and we see him with headphones on, and he's doing all these moves. He's all, and everyone's just kind of watching. It's like, what's Can doing, right? And we're like, at the time, everyone's all like, hey, that's pretty cool, but we were like, whatever, you know, because it was just like one of the guys, you know. And then who had, you know, known years later, he's
Poreotics.
Yeah. I think I just say, hey, you want to do a collaboration? I want to write music and we dance to it or something like that. And I think that's how it started, right?
Yeah, something like that. I haven't been into music as much until I started working with Tony. And since then, it's been inspiring for me. So I started making my own music recently too. So thank you, Tony, for that.
My hope for the future is that just not only for the community, but for everybody in the world, just people who question themselves about their passion, about their dreams, what they might have to sacrifice to do what they love, and the fears. I challenge myself to step out of the bubble, be nervous. It's okay to be nervous, and do it. Because I don't want to look back in life and go, should I, could I, would I, you know, that type of thing. Instead of going, I did it, I failed miserably, or I succeed. I'd rather find out. And that's the main thing right now. My whole thing is, I'm going to do what I can. I don't care how young, how old I am, skinny, I'm fat. It doesn't matter, you know, whatever the you know, it is. I just want to do it because I need to know for myself. You know, people always looking out for us saying, hey, Tony, you shouldn't do that, or hey, you should do this. I still need to know for myself, and I'm hoping that I'm able to look back and with the people that have been around me and support me and make them proud and say, hey, we helped Tony get there, and I want to be able to go, hey, thank you so much for getting me here. I'm glad we got here together, you know. And so I wouldn't be here for that.
One of my goals is to just inspire everyone that I come across. And not just in dancing, but in everything that they do. Like, whatever talents you have, you know, I just want people to know that, you know, if you have a talent or, you know, if you want to do something, just go for it, you know? Because that's what when I first started out, I wasn't sure of where dancing was going to take me, but I was like, you know, this is fun and I enjoy it, and, you know, I have fun doing it. So I was like, why not, you know, just go for it. And you never know where it might take you, because for me, I was so surprised that, you know, that where I'm at today, like I would never have expected it. But if I had chosen to you know, not do it because I was afraid, because I wasn't good enough or whatever, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today. So there were times where I did feel like I sucked, I was horrible and everything, but it didn't stop me. I told myself to just not give up, and this is where it brought me. Yeah. And I just want to let everyone know that, you know, don't give up, because the moment that you stop, that's when, you know, it's not going to go anywhere. The more that you keep going, you know, that's the more you succeed in whatever you want to do.
Kính thưa quý vị, cho Kristine xin tặng chương trình hôm nay đến với tất cả các bạn mà đã, đang và vẫn tiếp tục theo đuổi những giấc mơ của mình. Và Kristine cũng xin kính chào tạm biệt quý vị thân thương của chương trình Heart to Heart.